Now, we're going to move on to bounding into a comics article I wanted to talk about. The Boys showrunner Eric Kripke reveals Amazon series changed outcome of Queen Maeve's sacrifice in order to avoid the tropes of gay and bisexual characters in shows getting killed. They call that fridging your gays. I wish gays would chill out. No, I'm kidding. So, according to the showrunner Eric Kripke, the writing team behind Amazon's live-action The Boys series chose to deviate from the original comics and have Queen Maeve survive her moment of self-sacrifice because they want to avoid the tropes of gay characters and bisexual characters in shows getting killed. They wanted to avoid the tropes of gay or bisexual characters being heroes by getting rid of all of their sacrifices and all of their moments. Instead, they will all have glorious, happy lives forever, as opposed to real gay. Okay, whatever. We'll move on. Occurring in the third season finale, the instant white hot wild. The moment in question finds the boys, Homelander, and Queen Maeve staring down Soulja Boy, who has begun to charge up his radiation powers in service of an area-wiping suicide attack. If I remember correctly, because I did make a 4-hour review of the season 3 of The Boys. If I remember correctly, there was also some shit with his with his powers or something they were doing with him, where he would get rid of other people's powers or something if he hit them. So this is the reason why Maeve was supposed to die. Anyway, however, despite the widespread and publicly promoted belief that the series Wonder Woman analog had died in service of stopping Soulja Boy, a still clinging to life Queen Maeve is found by Anne recovering under the care of her girlfriend Elena. Oh, that was so funny. Like, oh, let's get Queen Maeve out of some rubble here. Oh, she's fine. She just fell down a giant thing. I forget. I should have gone back and watched my video before doing this, but I forget if they even decided to get rid of her powers or whatever. She's like, oh, I'm just normal now. Yay! Now I can just go and have gay sex for the rest of my life. And it's like, but then you definitely should have died from all of it. And not giving her the death is like, okay, but they don't understand through their political correctness is not giving her the death is more of an insult than giving her the death. Like, not letting her die that way and being like heroic for that is just makes him look worse. Whatever. In a brief epilogue, hold on. Asked by her former The Seven teammate where the future will take them, Queen Maeve simply replies, I don't know. Somewhere where Homelander won't find me. Cut to next season where he's killing her girlfriend or something like that, which brings Maeve back into it because there's no reason they're ever going to get rid of her because she's a strong female character. So they can't kill her, can't write her out of the show. So the actress just has to leave the show herself, which they will then recast her just like Batwoman, which is a show I'm going to make my girlfriend watch and she's going to kill herself. But in a brief epilogue, current Vought Senior VP of Hero Management, Ashley Barrett, and her assistant, Anika, are seen recovering security footage, which reveals that rather than passing away, Queen Maeve has simply depowered and spirited away. Yeah, exactly. She was depowered. Like, that's the... Oh, look at her. Yeah, that's the kind of bullshit where it's like... You have to try so hard to make sure she gets a happy ending. Not all women need a happy ending. Not all gays need a happy ending. I mean, I don't think any people in The Boys really get a happy ending. I mean, have you checked out the comics? Have you read the comics? Not even really Huey gets a happy ending. He's like the main character. Oh my god, I think I'm talking way too loud. Hold on. Oops. Whatever. I don't care. Offering an uncharacteristic olive branch, the two ultimately agreed to delete the recording, deciding to Queen Maeve live on a secret. Whatever. So she's gonna live in secret, rather than be subject to more. Which also another part that made absolutely no sense is these people from Vought just decided, you know what? you know what? It's just like the end of every season where they're like, you know what? I don't like Homelander, but I don't like him more than these people. So I'll side with with the boys, but I'm not really siding with the boys because I'm on Homelander's side. But I'm just not on Homelander's side for this part because it's the end of the season. But next season I'll be on Homelander's side. Eric, you're better than this. Notably, Queen Maeve's sacrifice plays out quite a bit differently in Garth Ennis's and Derek Roberts' original dynamic comic series. Therein, the Seven's resilient female powerhouse comes to blows with Homelander after he catches both her and Starlight attempting to voluntarily leave the team. Going somewhere? What is it with you? Oh, what is it to you? I have a plan in place. You may have heard about it already. But this has nothing to do with that. No, this is personal. You know what I'm going to do to you. See, this is the good Homelander. That's when... Hoping to buy Starlight time to escape, Queen Maeve throws her out a nearby hangar before rushing to swing her sword at her former teammate. Unfortunately for her, the blade fails to do any real damage, as according to Homelander, it was nothing more than a metal prop. Completely unfazed, Homelander then proceeds to decapitate Queen Maeve with a single blow, sending her head rocketing towards the ground outside of Seven Tower. I mean, okay, I think this does a lot of good for many different reasons. One, shows Queen Maeve, in this whole series, Queen Maeve has been kind of like a selfish slut, and eventually she decides to do what's right and help other people, and this gives her that chance to not only fight Homelander, sacrifice herself for somebody, but like kind of undo all of her past bullshit by, you know, going out in a blaze of glory. So she goes to attack him, the blade just breaks. Stupid metal prep. Per Kripke, during a recent interview with Variety, this change in the series' narrative was made in order to keep the boys from falling into the so-called bury the bury your gays trope. I mean, okay, let's talk about this for a second. Bury your gays trope. Okay, there's not a bury your straights trope. Out of all the characters and all the fiction who have ever been killed, I'm betting more have been straight than gay. So the trope would be that gay people die, not that gay people die. I mean, unless they're doing it to themselves. But anyway, an alleged habit across media where gay characters are seen as more expendable than straight ones. I mean, is that... see, this is the problem. Is... like Eric Kripke and this kind of stuff, these writers, these producers, they're living in a year they're living like 20 years ago. They're living like 30 years ago. They're living in the 90s where they're like, oh my God, the black character always dies first. Like, hello, buddy, we've been making movies for a long time now. We're in 2023. You know, I was having an argument with Black Lives Matter, the Manchester, the 860 branch or whatever like that. It's like, yeah, you're going to say some shit about 1985. That's almost like, what, 40 years ago? Like, that's a long time ago. Things have actually changed, believe it or not, since 1985. And this is even more recent, that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, things... I'm sorry, but gay people are now, like, all over the fucking place, so it's not that crazy to kill them. In a comic, not in real life. Anyway, asked by the outlet's TV business writer Jennifer Moss... Not Moss, if he could provide any insight as to whether actor Dominique McElligatis actually leaving the show and what was behind the choice to leave Queen Maeve alive, the showrunner explained, I don't think the boys will end without Maeve showing up again, of course, to do one more final sacrifice, which will be a lot more like the books, but we had to change the one from the books. It wasn't that good, but that's because we just didn't want to use it yet, because whatever. We need a way to sort of gracefully get Maeve out of the show, let her head for the exit. It's a metal prop, you stupid whore. Okay, so what I got from this when I was reading the comic was that he just, like, scalped her, like, ripped her hair off. But I guess he, like, I don't know, I guess they say he took her head off, which is interesting coming from the Blood Meridian thing we were just talking about. Scalping. Very big into scalping. Obviously, we didn't want to kill her and fall into the tropes of gay characters and bisexual characters in shows getting killed. I'm glad you said that, Eric. Now I know when I'm watching this, I can just look for the sexuality of the character, and I'll know if he'll be okay or not. Huey, he's probably going to die unless he starts sucking some dick. You better start sucking some dick, Huey, if you want to live. Who's Butcher? Butcher better get butched if he wants to survive. Because apparently they'll be safe if they're gay. He continued, you want to do the opposite of that and send her off and give her a happy ending with Elena. The best way to do this was, well, take away her powers, and she's not useful in a fight anymore. It's not like Homelander would search the globe looking for her to kill her because he just fucking hates her now, especially with all this on top of everything. I mean, he's got like super hearing. I mean, he's not going to die anytime soon. He's got all the time in the world to do this. Motherfucker can just fly around until he finally hears her voice and then just kills her. I mean, okay. If season 4 starts with her being ripped apart by Homelander, 10 out of 10. All right? I'll be fine with that. I'll be happy. I'll be like, oh, you were just saving it for later. That's cool. But they won't. And we did that because Annie can't really grow into her own until all the characters that are around to protect her are gone. That's not true. She grew in the books? Whatever. Included Kripke. So then what about the protector? So what about, like, Butcher? They have to get rid of Butcher? They have to get rid of Huey? Like, any of these people, whatever, will try to protect her. It was important for her next step for her mentor characters and her protector characters to go away. And so it's only up to Annie. But there's no one left but Annie. Oh, my God. She's the girl who just saved the universe. They're doing the same bullshit. They have a female character, the special girl who's going to save the world. And that he's saying, oh, God, I can't wait for next season. Can't wait for it. It's going to be so bad. It's all going to be Annie. Annie's going to be the next Rey. Annie Skywalker. Annie Palpatine. I'm excited. Anyway. Oh, God. I always have so much to say about the boys. And that, okay. And her protectors to go away. So, in the comic, Maeve wasn't really that much of a protector until, like, the end of the comic where she was like, oh, God, I guess I should do something that's right for, you know, for a change. Instead, she was just kind of getting gangbanged the whole time and like being a hedonist like most of the other superheroes. But because we live in modern day and there was a female superhero and a younger female superhero, there had to be a mentor situation because girls are nice to each other. We don't have stereotypes about girls being bitches because, you know, they look out for one another. You got this, girl. The Boys Season 4 is currently in production, with filming having reportedly wrapped on April 12th. That's a couple days ago. Well, you know what? I gotta say, I'm pretty excited for that. That's gonna be one shitty season. Holy fuck. with Ann Palpatine gonna save the day. How are they gonna do that? How are they gonna leave it just up to her when the main character is supposed to be Butcher? Fucking Carl Urban, man. You poor son of a bitch. They're just pushing you out of the way. They're like, do you forget, though? We've got Starlight. We've got a beautiful blonde girl. She's the real main character. Get out of here. We don't need you. We need beautiful blonde girl. God, I hate women. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. So the next article about what's wrong with men, I don't think I got fucking time for that. Who's got time for that? It's from the New Yorker anyway, which is a bunch of bullshit.